We don't want to fall into the trap of perfectionistic all or nothing. I'm either on the program of being healthy or I'm not. I'm either all in on my healing or I'm not. I'm either all in on my parenting or I'm terrible. That's not true. I want you to start to ask yourself, what are the shades of gray? What would a 1-degree progress look like and feel like? Like, it's okay to take baby steps. Baby steps lead to marginal gains. That's a new belief that I want you to start to really sit on, chew on, digest, and integrate into your world. Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high-achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life-altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod. Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod, where we normalize normal and find freedom through a life unperfected. What is up, mama? Brooke Jean here, your host of the pod. I am so glad you're here. Before we get into today's content and just the topic that I want to dive into with you all, I want to do a quick little check-in. How are we feeling? How are we doing? For many of us, myself included, our kids finally went the heck back to school. Okay, January 8th. Of course, it couldn't be January 7th, the Monday, but it was January 8th. And I have to tell you, while I love spending quality time with my family, while I love having some time off during the holidays, the 2.5 weeks is a little excessive, isn't it? It's a little much for me to handle. I was so ready and eager to jump back into my routine and to get some beautiful momentum going for the new year. And it's really hard to do when we're like dripping in children until January 8th. And then you're kind of trying to find the momentum. And I did take a lot of time off during that time to be with my precious daughter. And so this week that we're in, which actually this episode will release on Monday of next week. So for you, if you're listening last week, this week is like busting at the seams with things to do because the kiddo is back in school. And so I am like full to the brim with like connecting with my team and then all my company clients, right? And then there's a new company client prospective coming in and getting ready for those meetings and that proposal. And then there's all the clients who are really ready to get back into therapy because all the shit bubbled up with their families over the time that they were off together. Like holidays bring out a lot in all of us. And so it's a busy time in the therapy and personal development world and connecting with all of that. And then on top of that, I got the podcast. And then on top of that, I also tonight, it's the reschedule for the Unperfected Mama meetup that I had to push back because I got sick. So preparing for tonight and preparing for that workshop and that container. And let me just say, I had a moment, I believe it was on Tuesday. Oh, it was on Tuesday. It was the first damn day Chloe went back to school. I had a moment at the end of that work day where I was like, okay. The manifestations are coming through hot and there is a lot to do and it's all beautiful and it's blessing and it's stuff that I've been calling in and I've been wanting and I've been ready for, but it's here and woof, holy shiitake mushrooms. And I want to share what I did with that because I think it's a big darn deal if I do say so myself. As you guys know, my word for 2024 is alive. I want to feel more alive. I want to feel more present. I want to feel more lit up. I want to feel more energized and jazzed by all that I am giving my precious jewels, time, energy, and sanity to. And I have been taking really good care of myself. I'm not drinking for the entire year. And I've been doing my morning rituals and deeper, longer meditations. And I've joined a really high end mastermind. And so I'm being expanded by all of the amazing badass goddesses in there. And I'm moving my body more and I'm doing yoga and dance. Anyways, I'm doing all these things to prime my vessel because I cast a vision that I wanted for my life. And guess what? The field is responding and the shit is flooding in. And my initial response in my nervous system was to feel overwhelmed because that's the patterning, that's the conditioning, that's what I've been doing for so long. As I've always been a powerful creator and manifester, but then it comes in, it's too much for me. And what do? Normally, the old Brookie, she goes into self-sabotage mode. She can't handle it. So she goes and pours a glass of wine and then orders Grubhub and then shops and then numbs out to avoid. Not this time, my loves. Not this time. This time, I had the awareness to notice what was happening in my body, that this overwhelm was bubbling up, that there was a lot coming in. And instead of working till late into the night to make it all happen and trying to tap into some sort of resource that I didn't have available, I said, there's a lot. It's all stuff I want, and I am fucking ready for it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to yoga. I'm not going to go into do mode. Do mode would have been the more masculine old side of me. I'm going to go into flow mode. I'm going to go get on my mat. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to be present. I'm not going to think about work. I'm not going to think about responsibilities. I'm going to trust. I'm going to align, and I'm going to let it all go because it's all going to be there waiting for me tomorrow when I have the brain space and the energetics to be able to do this stuff. So that's what I did, you guys. I didn't numb out. I leaned in. And that is like a big darn deal. So where are you already making these beautiful shifts in your life? Last week on the episode or on the podcast, I recorded an episode about creating a life you actually love. And it starts with casting a vision of the life you want to have. And then you have to look at who do I need to be in order to have that? And how do I want to feel if I do, like, if I level up into this vision, if I create this reality for myself, how will it make me feel? Which is alive. And then you got to take aligned action to help yourself feel alive and be in that energetic every day. And so for me, this feels big because instead of falling into old patterning, which self-sabotages, which then takes me out of the game, I leaned into those feelings. I normalized those feelings and I took care of myself. And that message to myself and to the universe is, yeah, babe, I can handle this. It's what I've wanted and it's here and I'm ready. I can take good care of myself. We got this. So where in your life are you already making these beautiful shifts that they might feel small, but I promise you they're big. That's massive. Choosing different, choosing again is huge from a healing standpoint and a therapeutic standpoint and a change management standpoint and an expansion and a shift in energetics and frequency and a spiritual standpoint. It's massive. So I want you guys paying attention to those little shifts that you're already making because I'm so freaking proud of you. Okay. So yeah, things are balls to the wall with work now that my daughter's back in school and I'm having to adjust. So let's normalize that. The adjustment is real. The transition can be challenging, but it's about remembering your vision, remembering your intention, and getting back in the game, right? And so today I want to jump into why I believe resolutions don't work. Okay. I tried the resolution game for years and years and years. I would decide every year, this is the year that I'm going to get fit. This is the year that I'm going to lose weight. This is the year that I'm going to make more money. This is the year that my marriage is going to be perfect. This is the year that I'm going to be more patient. I did the resolution thing. They would last for a hot second. And I would fall off. And I also see my clients and my network, my people doing the same thing. They set their resolutions and they fall off. And then I recently heard from Tony frickin' Robbins that 91% of people fall off their resolutions and never make them happen. So, from a psychological, neuroscience, and energetics perspective, why in the heck does that happen? If you're one of those people that starts the year strong, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'm going to do this and that and the other to get there, and you fall off, there is a really good reason for that. It's not because you're a weak ass. It's not because you're weak willed. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you didn't try hard enough. It's not because you're not deserving of that change. It's because the framework of the resolution doesn't work for us, mind, body, and spirit. So here's issue number one with resolutions. It comes from a place of a low vibration, a shitty energetic. When you're coming up with a resolution, it's usually some change that you want to make in yourself that is drastic because you don't like who and what you already are. You're like, I need to lose weight. I need to look different. I need a different marriage. I need a different parenting style. I need more success in my business because I'm already not enough. That not enoughness, the energetic of that is low, baby. The universe isn't stupid. She's not fucking around and finding out. She knows that that's a low energetic output, a low frequency. It's coming from a place of lack. I don't have, therefore I need. It's coming from a place of not enoughness. And so you can will your way toward your goal, but it's going to lose momentum. It's not going to be sustainable over time because the energetic doesn't align. I've shared this with you guys and I'll share it again until the cows come home. It's from the place of radical acceptance, deep self-compassion, and enoughness that we grow and expand in an authentic and purposeful and sustainable way. So here's where I remind you that you, exactly as you are right now, are more than enough. You're smart enough, you're successful enough, you have enough, you're beautiful enough, there's enough love inside and around you. You are freaking amazing as is, boo-boops. Period. And what's also true is if you're like me and you're a growth junkie and a personal development junkie, it's okay for you to want to feel better. It's okay for you to want more in your life, but it's got to come from a place of, I already am. I already have. And it's from that enoughness that we end up opening up our energetic field and expanding to allow more in. You can't come from a place of I'm a piece of shit and therefore I want something different. You cannot shame yourself skinny. You cannot shame yourself successful. Shaming yourself or anyone else for that matter makes you feel like shit, and it's really hard to do the things you need to do to get where you want to go when you're feeling like shit. So the energetic of a resolution, like, I need to resolve this thing in me. No, you don't. We don't actually have to do anything. You don't have to grow. You don't have to heal. You don't have to become. Those are just things that are literally part of my soul's purpose. I can't I can't not grow and evolve. I literally find so much pleasure and purpose and enjoyment out of that. But you don't have to. You can choose to because you're deserving of and worthy of healing and being alive in your body and abundance and more love and more magnetism. You can choose to, but do you absolutely need it? No, you don't need to. You are actually fucking amazing as you are right here, right now. Hear me on that. So the energetic is off. That's why you can have this resolution. It's coming from a place of lack, not enoughness. It ain't gonna last, honey. It ain't gonna last. You have to decide what your intention is for yourself from a place of self-acceptance, from a place of self-compassion, from a place of enoughness and love. And if you're not ready to do that, that's where the healing work comes in. That's where the healing journey comes in. Okay? Issue number 2 with resolutions is the action is too freaking extreme. Okay? If you're like me, I remember, oh my gosh, it's actually comical to think about, and a little embarrassing. Poor girl. Let's have some self-compassion for the version of Brooke, in her 30s, early 30s, that was I'm going to work out 5 days a week before work, and I'm going to only make food at home and eat healthy meals, and I'm going to meal plan them and meal prep them on Sunday, and I'm not going to drink, and I'm literally, this is what I would say I was going to do. Okay. Okay. 10 years later and 10 years wiser in my 40s, I'm like, a bitch is not going to do that. Okay. Now, let me give you a little kind of neuroscience information. We have a mechanism in our brain that is constantly measuring effort for outcome. So when you say, I want to do this, your brain automatically goes, well, can I, and is it worth the effort? Like, am I going to get the result? It's kind of like, think about back in the more primal, primitive days where it's like, I'm going to go out and hunt. Is it possible that if I go out and hunt, I'm going to score some food? Do I have the energy? Do I have the can I do it, or am I going to get eaten? If I don't have it and I'm going to get eaten, I'm going to preserve my energy and I'm not going out hunting right now. Think about that as we've evolved, right? Your brain is looking at like, is that even possible? And is that going to work? And is it worth the effort? So when you decide to do something really drastic in your life, when you decide to take on all these rigid changes, your brain isn't stupid. Your brain goes, that's hilarious. That's not fucking happening. That is not worth the effort. That does not sound like fun. That does not sound like self-love. In fact, it sounds like freaking punishment. So no, we're not going to do that. And then you literally shut down and you feel like you can't even take a step forward. Another example is like, let's say you sit down at your workstation, your desktop for work. And you immediately jump into email, and there's all this stuff that needs your follow through. Plus, you've got your to-do list. Plus, you've got your family balls that are floating in your awareness. Then you start opening up all of your tabs, right? And next thing you know, you've got your to-do list visually, mentally, and emotionally. You've got all your tabs open on your computer. Therefore, all these tabs open in your mind, body, and spirit. And you literally go, I do not even know where to start. I am frozen. I am stuck. I cannot see the forest through the trees. Like I can't do anything. I can't even take a step toward doing something. Has that ever happened to you? Where there's so much happening, you literally freeze. There's a good reason for that. Because you've given yourself too much all at once, and that mechanism in your brain goes, fuck no. And then your nervous system goes, fuck no. And so then you have to like step away from your computer, go do some deep breathing, walk around the block, empty out, shift energetically, come back and decide what is the one thing I need to do. And when you simplify it and you say, the one thing I'm going to do is respond to this email. The one thing I'm going to do is make this phone call. And you do it thing by thing. You can actually start to make some progress and get some things done. It's no different than with your personal goals, your bigger vision for your life. When you decide, I'm going to work out 5 days a week and cook healthy meals every night and do meal prep so that I can change my body because I don't like it. Are you starting to pick up what I'm putting down? Like, no wonder it doesn't work. We literally freeze. It's not possible. And from like a parts perspective, your inner teenager is like, why in the actual F do I want to get up when it's dark out, when it's freezing ass cold, go to the gym and deal with whatever yahoos are there all before work? We're not doing that. We can't have pizza. F you. And so what I find is when we go into these extremes of I'm going to uproot and change everything about my rituals and routines, and I'm going to be really rigid about what I'm allowed to ingest and digest. There's parts of you that are like, no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound loving. That doesn't sound healthy. And there's also parts of your higher self, your adult, grounded, rooted self who's like understands her freaking worth, also knows, I don't need to go extreme. Like, do I really need that? According to who? Like, I am beautiful at any size. I am amazing. It is enough. There's also that part of you that's at play. And so what I find is that resolutions are often coming from a protective part that says things are out of my control. I'm not perfect enough, so I am going to double down on the shit I need to do to change. And that protective part is an unconscious part. It's not in alignment with your highest self and the best good for you and all. It doesn't honor the parts of you that might not want that or might struggle with that. It doesn't honor your younger versions of yourself. There's no fun. There's no reward. There's no nourishment. And this is where you're letting your protective part rule the roost of your life. And that protective part, because it's not your adult self, it's not your highest self, she's only going to take you so far. She's not going to take you to the vision of what you want for your life and how you want to feel. But because you're allowing that part to make the decisions, when you fall off, what do? You shame the living daylights out of yourself. And because you're probably a perfectionist like me, or maybe you're a perfectionist in recovery like me, which means you probably fall into all or nothing thinking. I'm either all in or I'm a piece of you know what, and I'm not doing it at all. So I'm either working out 5 days a week and I'm sticking to my plan, or I'm falling off and I'm doing nothing at all. That all or nothing thinking is literally a distorted thought, according to psychology, right? Psychology has determined categories of distorted thinking. All or nothing thoughts. I'm either all in or I'm not doing it at all, which we tend to love as perfectionists. That's quite literally distorted thinking, because there's so many shades of gray that are actually more realistic for us. Okay? And so we don't want to get stuck in distorted thinking, all or nothing. We don't want to shame the living daylights out of ourselves when we fall off a plan that was unrealistic in the first place. We don't want to set an unrealistic plan that we can't actually follow through on, that just literally uproots and changes everything, because it's not going to work, and it's not coming from a place of love and enoughness. So, number one, the energetics of a resolution, typically, not always, some of you are really good with making them more intentional, typically come from a place of lack and not enoughness. That's not the vibe. That's not going to help you get where you want to go with flow, with ease. And then the action we take is too extreme. It's self-punishing. It borderlines self-punishment. It's too extreme. Now, if you want something in your life, the way to get there is through energy and action. Energy and action. And yet with resolutions, the energy is off and the actions are off. And then you get mad at yourself because you say to yourself, well, I'm just not disciplined enough. Further perpetuating the narrative of your not enoughness, further fucking with your frequency. Or you say, I just need more willpower. Okay, let me talk a little bit about willpower. Okay, I feel like I heard this word so much growing up, like willpower was so popular. Here's the thing about willpower. We have like a little tank of it in our prefrontal cortex, our executive functioning part of our brain, which is the newest part of our brain, which really only contributes to 10% of our existence. In that 10% of our existence, there's a little teeny tiny gas tank filled with willpower. We all have the same amount, and it's a finite amount. In other words, you wake up in the day, you have this much willpower. It starts to dwindle down when you're making decisions throughout your day, when you're trying to be patient with your kids, when you're trying to get your morning ritual done, when you're trying to eat a healthy lunch, when you're trying to not lose your shit with your boss, when you're trying to decision making. We run out of willpower at about 2 p.m., maybe even sooner, for the love of God. Okay? We run out of willpower. So then when it comes time, when we're totally depleted, totally exhausted from our day, we're supposed to make some healthy choices with dinner. No, we're not. We're opening the wine, we're ordering the Grubhub, and we're sitting our ass on the couch. If you find yourself doing that, but then shaming yourself that you don't have enough willpower, it's not about willpower. Okay? You're not weak-willed. None of us have an abundance of willpower at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 p.m. We are literally running on fumes at that point. Even if we're taking care of ourselves throughout the day, even if we're having a strong morning ritual, even if we have some charging stations where we're recalibrating energetically and getting more energetic fuel, we're still running on fumes come the evening. So it's not about willpower. We're going to run out of that. It's about intention. That's what it is. It's about energy and action, and using that energy and that action with such intention. So here's what I want you to think about and consider instead. Instead of resolutions, instead of thinking you have to change something about yourself, I want you to cast a vision for your life this year. Cast a vision. What is it that your heart is longing for this year? Is it more love? Is it more financial success? Is it more travel? Is it more connection? Is it more creativity? Is it more nature? What is it? What is it? More nourishment? What is it that you want for your life? Then who do you need to be in order to connect with that? And when I'm figuring out who I need to be, I look at how will it make me feel? So if I want more financial success in my life, how will that make me feel? Well, that will make me feel safe. That will make me feel secure. That will make me feel energized. Okay, well, then the frequency that I'm looking to connect with each day are those things: safe, secure, energized, right? I want more love in 2024. Why? How will that make me feel? Well, that will make me feel more seen. That will make me feel more connected. Okay, so then I want to get into the energy of feeling connected each and every day. And I want to take aligned action toward that feeling every single day. Okay? I want to make more money in my business. Why? That's going to make me feel more confident. Okay, I need to connect with the energetic of confidence each day. So do you see? I'm setting an intention of who I want to be, how I want to feel, what my vision is. I'm aligning energetically to that each and every day. And then I'm going to take little baby step actions that help me get there. All right. So I start my day, like, since my word for 2024 is alive, when I first wake up, no matter what my brain is doing, I immediately guide it to, today I feel so alive. I feel so alive. And then I pull up my image, my visualization of me when I am just fully embodying that aliveness. And then I connect to the feeling of that. And before I know it, my body is kind of buzzing and it's in that. And it's like, yes, I'm alive. So that's how I set my intention that's in alignment with my vision. And I get into the frequency first thing. Then I come downstairs and I do my morning ritual, right? You guys know I'm passionate about the morning ritual. Why? Because how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So then I do my hot tea, and then I do my meditation, and then I do my creation and my journaling or my manifestation. Like, it depends on what I'm needing, but I really tap into that frequency of aliveness even more in the morning, right? But then throughout the day, we're going to get pulled out. We're going to get pulled out of energetic alignment. Why? Because we are walking on a planet with other human beings and we're all freaking triggering each other, right? Because we have trauma, and that's real. Because we have mental health issues, that's real. Because we have kids, that's real. Because we have partners, that's real. Because we have bills that we're stressed about, that's real. Like, we have real shit that's happening that pulls us out of alignment, and that's okay. We're not pretending here that that doesn't happen and that's not real. You might be pulled out for a moment. You might be pulled out for a day. You might be pulled out for a month. You might be pulled out for 6 months. There is nothing wrong with you. What we want is to have the awareness that that's happening. I've gotten sucked into the vortex of negativity. I've gotten pulled out. And we want to begin to build the muscle of getting back in. That's why I talk about charging stations. So I get pulled out in the first half of my day. Then around lunchtime, I have a nice lunch and I try to go for a walk to recalibrate and get back into alignment with my energy. Or I'll do a yoga nidra where I can really rest and just totally clear out my head. Because even though I'm working a lot on embodiment and getting into my body and using energetics to get what I want, I'm still very heady and I tend to think a lot and plan a lot. And so I can start to get like headaches and just feel really tired behind my eyes by lunchtime. And that's just my reminder of like, Brooke, you got to take care of yourself. You're in your head, babe. You got to drop into your body. Well, what helps me drop into my body? Movement, meditation, breath work, yoga nidra. So then I'm aligning, right? And then I get through my second half of the day. At some point, I might get pulled out of energetic alignment again. But every night at 6:30 is mom's time. My family knows it. I take my bath. It's winter time. So I take my bath with my candles and my bubble bath and my salts, and I listen to a podcast. When it's nicer out, if I haven't already had my walk for the day, I'll go for a walk. But that's my time, again, to empty out, to get out of my head, to get into my body, to recalibrate. And so it's about casting your vision, connecting with the who you need to be and how you want to feel, and aligning to that energetic each day and throughout the day, and not shaming yourself when you get out of alignment. And then it's looking at what action, baby steps do I need to take each day that move me toward the feeling that I want to feel, the alive, right? So I make it really clear, I am feeling alive today. Well, what action steps am I taking to feel more alive? Well, my morning ritual, my meditation, my walks, my yoga nidra. You don't have to start with that many. It took me years to build this list of shit I do to feel like a decent human being. Also, it might take me more than it takes the average bear to get through life, just saying. But like for you, if you want to feel more alive, if you want to feel better in your body, if you want to feel more love, if you want to feel more abundance, what baby step do you need to take today and every day that moves you toward that? And I want you to break it down into a damn baby step. Don't change everything up about what you're doing. Don't overcommit and underdeliver. You got to be realistic. Because here's the thing. This is where the 1 degree turns concept comes in from Martha Beck. If you do one little thing different today, a 1 degree turn, like a meditation for 10 minutes, and you were to do that 1 degree shift every single day for 6 months, you would be flying in a completely different direction in your life. And what that means from an energetic standpoint is you would be positioned somewhere completely different in the electromagnetic field. You're going to be playing with people that are living more intentionally and with more awareness and more desire to heal, more desire to be more conscious, be more of who they are, take care of themselves, love themselves more, right? And when you only sign up for a 1 degree turn, it's doable. Your brain isn't going to self-sabotage you. Your inner teenager isn't going to self-sabotage you. None of your parts are going to self-sabotage you. You can do it. And then when you do it, I want you to celebrate. Oh my God, Madonna. Madonna's coming March 19th, and I cannot wait. Sidebar. I was Madonna for Halloween for like years in a row growing up. I was obsessed with her as an artist. I used to love to like sing her songs and choreograph dance moves. And then I used to make my parents watch my performances. Anybody else out there that used to do that? Love that. For me, anyways, celebrate the living daylights out of that 1 degree turn. I started this podcast celebrating that on Tuesday when I got overwhelmed with all the blessings coming in. Instead of numbing out with wine or food or Amazon Prime, I went to yoga. That's more than a 1 degree turn. I am celebrating that. You know why? Because when I celebrate that, I tap into a reward center in my brain that drops dopamine, and that dopamine is going to help me be more motivated to keep going. And when I do that 1 degree thing every day for 6 months or hell, even a year, what is possible for me in the end of the year? What is possible for you when you make 1 degree turns? So we're going to be done with setting these resolutions because we feel like we're not enough and we need to change something drastic, and then creating this really rigid plan that's not doable. Instead, we're going to cast our vision, we're going to set our intentions, and we're going to take baby steps toward that. And when we do one thing a day for 30 days, it becomes a habit. Then we can add on a second thing and it becomes a habit. And if you really think about it, in 12 months' time, you could have 12 things you're doing a day that are helping you feel the thing you want to feel and create the outcome you actually desire. Are you with me here? The little things add up, right? James Clear in Atomic Habits, love that book. He calls it marginal gains. These small baby steps of intentionality create marginal gains, massive shifts in your life. And how good will you feel about yourself when you say, man, 2024, I just wanted to feel more love and I took a baby step every day and I created more love in my life. You're going to be further than if you would have set these really extreme resolutions and not done anything and shamed yourself for it. And so even if your movement is really small, the movement is actually really big compared to what we've done before with resolutions, right? Isn't it? Yes. We don't want to fall into the trap of perfectionistic all or nothing. I'm either on the program of being healthy or I'm not. I'm either all in on my healing or I'm not. I'm either all in on my parenting or I'm terrible. That's not true. I want you to start to ask yourself, what are the shades of gray? What are the shades of gray? What would a 1 degree progress look like and feel like? This is also called psychological flexibility. When the brain says, I have to do it this way, and you pause and breathe and ask yourself, but what other ways might be possible? What is the gray area? What is the shades of gray in between? You're disrupting your neural pathways that are around perfectionistic and all or nothing thinking, and you're starting to force new neural connectivity around new ways of being and thinking. Like, it's okay to take baby steps. Baby steps lead to marginal gains. That's a new belief that I want you to start to really sit on, chew on, digest, and integrate into your world, right? What are your beliefs that are holding you back from taking the action to get what you want? And are you uprooting them and reprogramming them into beliefs that are supportive, right? My 2 beliefs that I'm working on this year are I am inherently good and anything is possible. I am inherently good and anything is possible. If I were to really believe that, how would that influence and inspire me to take aligned action to align with the energetic of what it is my heart desires? Here's a little caveat that I want you to be careful with. Is that vision that I was talking about for you casting into the universe what you want in your life, what you want, who you want to be, and how you want to feel? Let's make sure that that's coming from a really clean and clear, authentic place, not a place of ego, not a place of I need to prove something to someone. Not a place of like, well, I'll be attractive when, I'll be successful when, I'm going to show them, I'm going to show my mom and dad, no. What is it that your heart desires? It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to understand the how. What is it your heart is longing for? That's the vision for your life. Okay? That's the vision. So if you're wanting to lose weight because you want to attract a partner, no. No. If you're wanting to make a certain amount of money because you want to prove to your parents that you have your shit together, nope. No. I understand why we fall into those traps. I did for a decade. I have so much compassion for that version of me and that version of you. But what is it your heart is longing for? Is it longing for more ease in the body, more experience in nature, more connection with humans, more inspiration, more abundance? That's whatever's true to you. That's the vision. That's the energetic. That's the feeling that I want you moving toward. Because when we do things that way, like all of those other external things that you want for safety and security tend to unfold organically. So like, if I connect to this aliveness every day, if I remember my vision is I want to feel alive and I take aligned action and I remain in the energetic of aliveness, you're damn right the freaking business opportunities are already flooding in, right? You're damn right that's growing my income, growing the business, growing the impact, growing the, purpose. You're damn right that growth is going to afford us different vacations this year, different office spaces, different, fashion and all the things that design, things that I'm starting to get into. Yeah, that's going to create more ease in my marriage. Those things will happen as a byproduct of me just being alive and fully lit up and fully intentional. So here's the message that I want to leave you with. Resolutions are out, baby. Intentions are in. I want you to cast a vision for your life, the life that you want to live coming from a heart space. I want you to really get an image in your mind of who that person is when she's fully embodying that thing. And I want you to feel connected to the emotion. And I want you to get into the energetic of that as often as you can. And when you fall out, I want you not to shame yourself. I want you to love yourself and build that muscle of getting back in the game, baby. And I want you to take daily aligned action that moves you toward that vision. And I want you to take baby steps, really, really small micro steps. And I want you to celebrate the heck out of your progress. And I want you to feel the like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. And look at me growing and look at me loving myself differently. Look at me choosing better for myself. Because that energetic is going to actually expand and create more of what you desire. So that's the vibe for 2024. We're not doing more. We're not perfecting ourselves. We're not punishing ourselves. We're coming from a place of enoughness. And from there, we get to grow and have more because we're deserving of all that this beautiful universe has in store for us. We're going to be working on opening up so we can allow and receive versus going out and chasing. I hope you're with me on this journey. I'm so excited to be in this energetic this year and share with you guys what this does for me, what this opens up, but also where I stumble and fall. Because I will, baby. You know she keeps it messy. That's just part of who I am. Like, I was designed to just, fail the fuck forward and like have a nipple hanging out in the wrong place and time and spill coffee and like make a fool of myself and stumble over my words and forget something and change course. Like, I'm messy. Like, that's just kind of part of who Brooke Jean is. So I'll share that too. Because just because I'm messy doesn't mean that I'm not deserving. And just because you're messy doesn't mean that you're deserving too. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours, Mama. I am truly so grateful that you're here. If you would do me the hugest favor, if you haven't already, if you enjoyed this episode, will you take a screenshot and share it on Instagram and tag me at Brooke Jean Unperfected? Will you send the link to a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, somebody who would benefit from ditching resolutions and living with intentions? The more people that get in on this energetic, I think the bigger shift we're going to see and feel in our reality in this world. And when you take the time to rate and review the podcast and to share it, whether it's on Instagram or with a friend, you have no idea how much that means to me, because it means that we're making a bigger impact. And that is a huge part of my soul's purpose. So I love you so much. I am so grateful for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Unperfected Pod. I hope this episode helped you feel a little less alone and a little more inspired to be you. If you like what we're doing here, I would so appreciate that you subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. If you do, share the episode on Instagram and tag me at Brooke Jean Unperfected to enter to win a 1-to-1 laser coaching session. Also, feel free to join me in my private Facebook community, Mommy's Mental Health Matters, where we continue the conversation. Thanks again for being here, and see you in next week's episode.